Hey y'all, welcome back, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Kira Toka, and today I'm going to be continuing our journey where I talk about getting screwed, but I still own the car. So I'm gonna look a little bit different from the rest of the video, but that's just because I was editing it and I was like, okay, my intro sucks and I was being too slow. So here I am refilming it. Also, there's more stuff to talk about because I think it's in this one that I talk about how everything that's wrong with my car, and just earlier today my mirror fell off. My side view mirror fell off, so I was like, okay, that's cool. But anyways, time to, get to the rest. So my car is a 2008 Volkswagen Jetta. It's not that old of a car, so you might be like, what are you complaining about? But, if you see on the outside, she is bruised. She has been mistreated, and that's when I came into the picture to try to treat her better, but obviously, if you've been mistreated, you're gonna have a defensive wall, and that's exactly what happened. She has a defensive wall, and I'll tell you guys what that is in a bit. This dealership that I got it from was, I'm gonna say, like a ghetto looking dealership. It's actually kind of annoying because on the thing, if you go on Craigslist, which is what I went on, it will say a personal owner, like you yourself selling a car, or a dealership, and it said personal. But when we arrived there, it was a dealership. But it was all used cars on the lot. It wasn't even a nice looking one. Ghetto looking. I'm not talking about Toyota or something where you're going to walk up with this nice looking building, concrete lot. You got this A1 customer service and they're happy to help you. No, you drive up and it's dirt, and then it looks like a little house that once was a 1-bedroom house, and no AC in there. It just looks really busted. Good times. So anyways, we walk up there and we're like, hey, we're looking for one car. And he's like, oh, it's right there. So I open it and I noticed things here and there, but I was like, okay, this is fine. This is cool. There were more Volkswagens on the lot, which I don't remember if they were Jettas. They had torn seats, they had this and that, and et cetera, et cetera. I was like, this one's the best one I've seen. So we did what you're supposed to do and test drive it. This guy pulled it out for us, and then my mom went ahead and drove it because I still wasn't comfortable with how I drove. So I was like, we got 3 other people in here now, so yeah, I'll let you drive. So I sat in the front seat, and immediately I heard rattling in the AC vent, but I didn't say anything. And then the seat was literally so far back, and I was like, how do you put this thing up? And then he was like, it's that. And I was like, okay. It was this freaking dial that I turned, and I was like, what the heck is this? So then my mom was like, boy, the engine light's on. What are you doing? So he was like, we drive it, and we didn't notice really any problems. She said it seemed fine, but then when we walked up there, my mother was like, the engine light is on, so do you guys have a personal mechanic, or should I go to my own? And then they were like, no, we have a personal mechanic. It's fine, we'll check it for you. So we're like, thank you. So this was when I put down some money so that nobody else can buy it, and then I think that's when my mom was getting my insurance and stuff together, because she did not put me on her insurance. She made me get my own. I was like, hey mom, it'd probably be smart if we actually went and made sure all the lights in the car working, the emergency light, the blinkers, the stuff that prevents you in getting in a car accident. So we go out there, and some of the brake lights were out. So we're like, okay. All of the tires were trash. They were no tread on them. I have a picture to insert. They were why you would have tires on there? We're okay, the tires suck and the braking lights are not working, and when she tried to use the blinker, not the blinker, the windshield wiper, it was the most obnoxious squeaking noise. It was just and I was like, A1, dude. A1. So we ended up just doing it anyway. And of course we do what you do when you buy something from Craigslist. Someone says, hey, I'm selling this for $10, and then you go, would you take it for $7? And then they're like, 9, and you're like, how about 8? And then they're like, okay, here, how about $8.50? And then you're like, deal. that's basically, you know, yeah. So they were like, okay, we're selling this car for this much, and we were like, how about this much? And he was like, how about this much? And we were like, okay. So that was did and done. Like, we negotiated. Cool. So we went there a second time, and I believe it was the day or the day after that day of after the day. We came back the next day, and my mom's like, so what was that engine light for? And he's like, oh, it's an O2 sensor. It's really not that big of a deal. And we're like, okay. So I told the dude that he needs to replace the tires because it's not safe to drive with no tread. My mom, this was like a year ago, like I'm all mixed up in this. We came back a third time, I think, when we were actually buying the car. I can't even freaking remember anymore. At some point, it was Halloween, I know that. In order of every event happening, I can't completely tell you, but it was Halloween. And my friend, Taya, came with me and my mother to the dealership to get the car. So, it was probably like an hour and a half drive. We were a mile away. He was like, oh, by the way, I didn't get the tires fixed. We go up there, and my mom's like, walks up there like, I own the place, so I hope you know you made bad business because now we're gonna have to reduce the price because you did not replace the tires. What was going through your head? And he was like, I was here by myself all day, ma'am. I'm sorry. He actually did look like he hated his life and he was only there because he had to be, and he would rather be like burning in a pit of fire than be sitting there, and every second it looked like he was contemplating his suicide and he was 1 inch closer to it. So, with that being said, he was just like, I was here all by myself, and sorry about that. And she was like, okay, so now it's only gonna be this much. And he's like, how about just this much? My mom's like, fine. And then I think it was like maybe like a couple days later. Alright, I'm gonna stop right there. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. If you liked it, click the like button. If you like me, subscribe, comment down below. And if you're new, feel free to check out the rest of my channel where I post random things every single Monday, except for the occasional Mondays that I miss because I have nothing else to post. And if you want to follow my Instagram, it is going to be down below. But other than that, guys, see you next Monday. Peace.